Namaste students. I, JV and Dr. Naren Singh Shekhawat, Department of Shalya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University. Today I will discuss about pleurisy or pleuritis. What is the pleurisy? Pleurisy denotes inflammation of the pleura with or without pleural effusion, also known as pleuritis. Pleurisy can result from direct trauma to the chest wall, but it is most commonly occurs from extension of localized disease of the lungs, mediastinum, pericardium, abdomen, or from systemic disease. These all are the causes of pleurisy. Patients who present with pleurisy usually have an associated pleural effusion. The presence or absence of pleural fluid may be a helpful differential findings. For example, viral pleurisy, rheumatoid pleurisy, and sarcoid involvement of the pleura. Causes: infections like viral, fungal, or bacterial infections, tuberculosis, congestive heart failure, malignancy, pulmonary embolism, trauma, collagen vascular disease. All are the causes of pleurisy. Okay, students? Now, pathology. A limit nerve supply exists in the lung distal to the bronchi, primarily composed of different rings of systematic and vagal origin. Therefore, stimulation of visceral pleura and lung usually does not produce pain. The parietal pleura, in contrast, is a highly sensitive surface supplied extensively with sensory afferent from intercostal, sympathetic, phrenic, and vagus nerve. Injury to the costal parietal pleura produce sharp localized pain at the site of irritation. This is the cause of pain. Inflammation of the peripheral diaphragmatic pleura also results in localized pain but tends to extend over a greater area of the chest wall, back or abdomen. Irritation of the central portion of the diaphragmatic pleura does not elicit pain in the immediate area but result in referred pain to the ipsilateral posterior neck, shoulder and trapezius muscles. Stimulation of the mediastinal parietal pleura over the pericardium may also result in pain referred to the neck. These are all the pathology of pain. Clinical features. What is the clinical features? The patient with pleurisy complains of pain on breathing that may be minimal or severe, depending on the degree of inflammation. Okay, student? Means it depends on the degree of inflammation. The patient may describe the chest pain as stabbing or shooting, or as a stitch in the side. It is exacerbated by deep breathing, coughing, sneezing, or even choking. Pleuritic pain may be relieved by manual pressure against the chest wall that cause splinting. Or other features it is a dyspnea. This is a common complaint result partial from the voluntary and involuntary restriction in respiration imposed by the pain. Shortness of breath, localized tenderness, referred pain to the neck or shoulder, hyperesthesia, hyperalgesia. These all and muscle spasm. These are all the symptoms of pleurisy. Other presenting symptoms depend on the cause of the pleurisy. For example, a shaking, chill, fever, and purulent sputum suggest bacterial pneumonia as the cause of the pleurisy, whereas isolated acute pleuritic pain and dyspnea may indicate a spontaneous pneumothorax. Physical examinations: the patient has shallow and rapid breathing and ipsilateral restriction of chest motion and often lies on the affected side, so limit chest expansion. Chest expansion को limit कर देता है due to restriction of ipsilateral side. Palpation verifies the limits ipsilateral movements of the hemothorax and rarely demonstrate the affection. The percussion note may be felt owing to underlying consolidation or pleural effusion. Phemetus may be increased or diminished depending on presence or absence of consolidation. A pleural friction rub confirms the diagnosis of pleurisy. Investigation. What are the infection investigations of pleurisy? It involves blood tests which is showing in ESR, increased WBC counts. Chest X-ray may be normal if there is no pleural effusion, may reveal pneumonia, pleural effusion, tumor CT. CT scan. It is the most sensitive test to rule out any other lung pathology. Now, management. Proper rest, analgesic medicines, suitable antibiotics, and management of underlying causes means pathology or etiology of pleurisy can be treated that resolve the pleurisy. This is all about the pleurisy. This this session powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University and also say and Jyoti Vidya and Jaipur. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you are, if you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you, students. Namaste, students. To show video, I JV and Dr. Naren Singh Segat, Assistant Professor, Department of Salyatantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In previous classes, we discussed about anatomy of liver and disorders of liver. In today's class, we will discuss about portal hypertension. In this diagram, you can see the hepatic portal circulation. Heart pumped blood into abdominal aorta and proper aorta hepatic artery to liver to hepatic veins inferior vein drain to left atrium of right atrium of liver. This is the hepatic circulation. As you can see, uh, splenic vein and superior mesenteric veins drain blood into hepatic portal vein and it drain into liver. Yes, students. Sustained elevation of portal pressure more than 12 mm of Hg is called portal hypertension. Normal range of portal pressure is 8 to 12 mm of Hg. A rise in portal pressure stimulates portal systemic circulation. Portal vein carries 75% of blood flow to liver with all nutrients to maintain its integrity and give 50% oxygen supply to liver. 25% of hepatic blood flow given remaining 50% of oxygen supply to liver. Portal hypertension causes suspensive portosystemic venous collateral information, altered intrahepatic circulation, and increased splenic blood flow. High pressure portal blood is diverted via coronary, short gastric, and esophageal veins into azygous veins. There is increased portal resistance and increased portal blood flow. Increased resistance may be sinusoidal, and post-sinusoidal. Uh, these are the causes of pre-sinusoidal, extrahepatic and intrahepatic. Extrahepatic portal vein, splenic vein thrombosis, intrahepatic schistosomiasis and sarcoidosis. Sinusoidal causes cirrhosis, hematochromosis, Wilson disease, congenital hepatic fibrosis. What sinusoidal is Body-Cherry syndrome, congestive heart failure, veno-occlusive disease also. Causes of causes of portal hypertension. First, prehepatic. These are the prehepatic cause. B is hepatic. These causes mentioned in the hepatic, and post-hepatic causes are these. Sides of porta systematic polytron, as you can see, lower end of the esophagus between left gastric and short gastric veins with azygos. Umbilicus between paraumbilical vein and anterior abdominal vein, resulting in caput medusa. Retroperitoneum, bare area of liver, lower end of the rectum. These are the sides of porta systemic collateral. This is the porta systemic collaterals. As you can see in the diagram, this one is 1, 2, 3, and bare area of liver also. Okay, students. Photo showing caput medusa. This is a photo medusa. Presentation means clinical features. Trioportal hypertension for esophageal varix, splenomegaly, and ascites. These are the common and when trioportal hypertension. Jaundice features of encephalopathy, recurrent infection, coagulopathy, hepatorenal syndrome. Investigations: liver function test, ultrasound, ultrafetoprotein, MELD scoring. This is a patient with ascites with portal hypertension. Doppler imaging, HVPG, hepatic venous pressure gradient, splintography. Now management. For portal hypertension, first general measures anemia due to corrected to be corrected. Anemia to be corrected. Nutrition supplementation, injection vitamin K, NMG, IM for 5 days. Specific measures. Treatment of esophageal varix, prevention of hepatic encephalopathy, treatment of ascites, measure of reduced portal pressure, surgery, port, systemic, non-selective and selective. Transjugular intrahepatic port systematic tips. This is the transjugular hepatic port systemic are typically placed by an interventional radiologist under fluoroscope guidance. Access to liver is gained, as the name transjugular suggests, via internal jugular vein in the neck. Once access to the jugular vein is confirmed, a guide wire and introducer seat are typically placed to facilitate the shunt placement. This enables the interventional radiologist to gain access to the patient's hepatic vein by traveling from superior vena cava into the inferior vena cava and finally the hepatic vein. Once the catheter is in hepatic vein, a gauge pressure is obtained to calculate the pressure gradient in the liver. Following this, carbon dioxide is injected to locate the portal vein. Then a special needle known as calpinto is advanced through the liver parenchyma to connect the hepatic vein to the large portal vein near the center of liver. The channel of the shunt is next created by inflating an angioplasty balloon within the liver along with the tract created by the needle. The shunt is complexed by placing a special mesh tube known as stent and endograft to maintain the tract between the higher pressure portal vein and the lower pressure hepatic vein. After the procedure, fluoroscopy images are made to show placement. Pressure in the portal vein and phenolic are optimized. Drug to reduce the portal pressure like propranol, nedolol, isosorbidide, liver transplant. Final treatment is liver transplant. This pic is showing the tips trans infectics tips procedure. Okay, students. This session is powered by Digital Session 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any doubts or queries, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you, students.